Alright people, so I just want to make a video here talking about, this guy made a video here and it was pretty popular. I saw it was on YouTube's trending page here. Got 1 million views, 38,000 likes, 38,500 likes, and the title of it was "Stop Killing Us." Again, you know, this is kind of your typical Black Lives Matter supporter here, I assume. You know, obviously a lot of people agree with him. And you know, you're hearing the narrative now. Oh, we have to unite. We have to. Well, how can we unite if they turn it into a racial issue? If Black Lives Matter is turning this issue of police brutality into a racial issue. Stop killing us. Not everybody, not people, us. You know, which I'm almost positive that means black people. So you can't unite with Black Lives Matter if they base their issue on police brutality in they make it into a racial issue, and if they don't focus on other problems with the black community as well, other ways that black people are killed other than the 258 black people killed by police in 2015, but it was like 6,000 black people murdered by homicide, I think in 2014, and most of that, like I think it was 90% was done. About 90% was a result of black on black. So let's just watch this video here. So first he starts it off like I think a total fucking dumbass. He just pauses and stands there like he's so intellectually smarter than everybody else. And like he's pondering something. And this video is so fucking scripted. I hate people that do this too. They like they'll shoot a 10, 15, 20 second video of themselves, and then they'll just throw it all together so that it looks all nice and produced. And you know, I prefer videos like what I'm doing now. It's fucking real. I have not rehearsed this, and I'm not gonna piece together 10 or 15 second segments. So let's just watch this. So yeah, first he ponders like a total fucking idiot. Oh, I'm so smart. Oh, let me turn I must have turned the volume off here. I had my headphones in there, so let me just rewind this a little bit here. Alright.
Stop killing us. You know, at first I was under the impression that a lot of this shit was just coincidence. It was just like, you know, whatever. It's just could happen to anybody. Why is it now that every time I scroll my timeline or every time I turn on the news, it's another life being taken? It's like
Alright, he says, so every time, why, you know, when he turns on the news, does he see a life being taken? And I assume he means a black life being taken because, you know, he's a Black Lives Matter guy. And the reason that is, idiot, is because our media is controlled. It pushes the narrative of, again, how the cops are so racist against black people, and how, you know, the blacks are being so persecuted right now, and white privilege and all this bullshit. So that's why. It's because you got, you know, your mainstream media like MSNBC, CNN, the Clinton News Network. That's why you see, you know, you won't ever see police killing white people, even though police kill about 2 times more white people. It's almost 2 times more white people than black people about. You won't see that on the news. It's only black people, so that's why. It's because your news is controlled, and they only want you to see what they want you to see, so they can push a narrative, and this guy is obviously buying into it. And that narrative is, again, racial. They want to make it seem like everybody's racist, and they want to play blacks off against whites, you know, police off against blacks, and they want to create all this tension within each other in America so that we don't unite, and we don't get mad at the actual people who are, you know, bringing down our country, like Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, George Soros, and people like that.
It's not even a coincidence at this point. This shit is like, it's almost to the point that it's religious. You see what I'm saying?
No, I don't really see what you're saying. You know, if you would talk about how many blacks are killing black people here in America, how the problem of black on black violence is a huge fucking problem, then I would really understand what you were saying. But, you know, making this, oh, you know, so many black people are dying at the hands of cops, which, again, a lot of people want to make it out to be, is just totally false. I pointed out in one of my previous videos I think I titled the video "Black Lives Matter is dumb or retarded, or Black Lives Matter sucks." I pointed out the fact how you are 24 times more likely to die at the hands of black-on-black violence or via homicide if you're a black person than you are via getting killed by the cops.
Don't kill us. I think it's crazy sometimes how the news tends to love to put out their little funky facts about black people. Like, for instance, they'll be like, black children are more likely to grow up with only their mother. Yet they fail to realize that majority of the time, that shit ain't by choice.
Actually, those aren't funky facts. Those are actually facts and problems with the black community. That is deemed, oh, you're racist if you point out problems with a certain race or a certain minority. It's racist if you, and that is a big problem in the black community. You know, single mothers raising their kids. I mean, you see so many families torn apart, and you see so many kids, especially when it comes to the black community, being raised by a single parent, or where they don't have a father to support them, which is a very sad situation. I work at batting cages, and over the winter I saw, this one guy was, few guys would bring in like a lot of fucking black kids. I live by Detroit, and they would bring in, I assume from, somewhere over there. And there would be no moms with them, or, there's no fathers with them, there's no parents with them. And they're running around like crazy, and they're fucking, I gotta fucking make sure they're not doing anything bad. I mean, it's really sad in the black community. You got, they're not, and again, that's, it's racist to point that out. And then he says, well, they don't point out that it's not by choice. Well, actually, it is by choice. I mean, if you're a fucking father, and you decide not to participate in your children's life, I mean, that is a fucking, obviously the kid didn't choose that. That's not what any fucking person has been saying. But I mean, that is a problem, and it is, bad choices being made by the mother and fathers, obviously. I mean, maybe we should use some more birth control, or promote family values, actually having a mother and a father in a person's life. So I mean, that is a problem, and it should be pointed out, especially within the black community. And I think that's a big problem why so many black people are not as well off as other people on average, is because a lot of single parents, a lot of single mothers raising their children, and usually the father's the one who brings in the money, the guy who works, and the mother's the one who, kind of watches over the children. Both play essential roles in the family, but without one of those, people, a lot of times the children isn't as well off. So,
stop killing us. You claim, well, black people only care when a white person kills them, but not when one of their own kills them. Y'all be screaming free my nigga Pookie, yeah, he killed somebody for living 3 blocks in the wrong direction. First of all, you fucking idiots. Black people don't only care when a white person kills a black person any less than when a black person kills a black person.
Okay, well then you should be talking about the problem. If that is true, then you should be talking about the problem of black on black violence, which kills way more people than cops, which is a huge fucking problem. Then, you should be talking about that, not just obsessing on, cops being racist against black people. So if that is the case, then why isn't Black Lives Matter covering, black on black violence?
But because of the way the system is set up, showing comfort and compassion for the things done by the very people that are supposed to A, protect, B, serve, is about all we fucking got, right? Well, my neighborhood doesn't go through these issues and situations. I think that the police around my neighborhood are very, very polite, and they're always very helpful. I really just can't fathom it being that bad, Do you even know what the word privilege means? A special right, an advantage, or an immunity that was granted and or available to a specific person or a specific group of people.
Alright, and now he's obsessing over the whole, thing of white privilege. Now, yes, it is, white people, on average, again, are better, get more, you could argue, opportunities, aren't as likely to commit crimes than black people, but whose fault is that? It's the black people's fault. I mean, they obsess over this white privilege, but whose fault is it that black people commit more crime than whites. It's the black people's fault. Oh, but they want to make it seem like, oh, the whole country's racist against black people. No, no, no. It's, a lot of it's because, black people are, like I said, I pointed out the problems with the black community, and a lot of that is because of corrupt politicians, deceiving black people, putting them on welfare, telling, Democrat politicians telling them that, you deserve something. People like Obama dividing this country. So those are big problems with the black community, and it's not my fault that, I work hard, I go to school, and it's not my parents' fault that they worked hard, and they have a, nice house, and, they have a decent, I mean, they're not rich, but they're well off, they worked hard, and so it's not white people's fault that they work hard and they don't have as many problems as the black community. So when we're talking about white privilege, I mean, the black people should wake up and say, well, we have to reform our neighborhoods and our societies and our communities and stop killing people, stop with all this violence, and stop with all this single parents raising black kids. So
do you even understand why black people grow up in these underprivileged situations? It's not by choice. Fuck, let's not even think.
Yeah, he's right. It's not by choice, but it is a result, again, of, it just shows us how, it's not the choice of the kids, but it shows us how deep in the shit the black communities are.
Race right now, let's just think logically. Who in their right mind wants to grow up in a situation where they aren't afforded the luxuries as people of a different skin tone than them? Not fucking me, because... Yeah,
nobody's fucking saying that black people want to grow up in these shit communities, idiot. I mean, he's creating a straw man's argument here.
The shit isn't fair. Why is it that one of the things a lot of police officers tend to do is shoot first and ask questions later?
Again, he wants to make it seem like this whole issue of police brutality is a huge issue against black people, when a great majority of the cops are great people, and only a small percentage of them are bad people.
Whenever I see people getting mad at people supporting like Black Lives Matter and shit, I just tend to think like, regardless of the race, age, whatever it may be, this is a human. This is a human being, bro. This isn't a bug, my nigga. This is a human. This is a person. This is a you. Because a person.
Yeah, we realize it's a human being, but there's also white human beings being killed by cops. Why doesn't the media cover that? And okay, they're human beings. Yes, there are human beings. And that's what we should be talking about, the human being. The whole race, all races, all over the world. But again, Black Lives Matter, that's a very divisive name that promotes division. So, I mean, when they say unite, but then they have the movement of Black Lives Matter, it's very contradicting and confusing, quite confusing to me, actually.
Works at McDonald's doesn't mean that they deserve less respect because they work in fast food. Their job does not define them. That's their source of income. Where you're from does not define you. It's where you're going. You feel me? What you stand for does not define you unless you sit down. Who you are as a person should define who you are.
Again, he seems like he's trying to make the argument that there's so many people who are just so racist and hate black people and don't judge them by the content of their character as opposed to their skin color. It's not the 1960s. This is 2016, and I think we have a very libertarian society, and there are very few actually white people who are racist. So let's not act like it's the 1960s.
Not a stereotype. Well, what if they were disobeying the law? Then detain them for disobeying the law. Detain, meaning put someone in custody until you can further investigate the situation.
Well, if they are aggressive and refuse to be arrested or put in handcuffs, then lethal force sometimes has to be done. Obviously, there are times where cops get out of control, but sometimes you have to, use means to, if they're resisting arrest or if they have a gun and they're threatening to shoot a cop. I mean, sometimes you do have to use lethal force. Again, sometimes it's not done justifiably, but a great majority of the time, like I said, cops are good people.
At this point, it's just like, what does my skin color have to do with how police tend to handle a situation as if I'm any less human than they are. Like, seriously, what about it? I just don't want to find myself in one of those situations. Stop.
Alright, so then he's pushing the narrative of, oh, you know, cops don't think black people are as, you know, human as white people, or they think, you know, they don't treat black people the same. They value white people more than they value black people. I mean, again, that is not the fucking case. And if there are cases of police brutality, it's not a racial issue. This should not be turned into a motherfucking racial issue. This should be a human issue, an issue of all lives across, you know, no matter what kind of fucking race or age or whatever the fuck you are. This should be an issue. Police brutality should be an issue of all people, not just black people, because like I pointed out, white people get killed twice as more than black people by the cops, just about. A little bit less, but just about. But they, again, you won't hear that from the mainstream media or this guy.
Fucking killing us.
So there you go. And then so obviously he is a Black Lives Matter supporter. So there you go. I just thought I should debunk that video there. It's pretty much filled with a bunch of bullshit. So so there you go, people. Let me know what you think about that. So and let me know what you think about Black Lives Matter. I mean, is it a legitimate group, or is it a divisive group like I think it is? You know, again, they want to, oh, let's unite. But how could unite? How can we unite with people who just say Black Lives Matter and make this into, again, creating racial divide and racial tensions and shit like that? Again, this is, you know, people like George Soros, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton are people fueling this racial divide. So there you go, people.